What's up, Westside? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home of the Chaney Cowboys all season long. Hackett's Lounge here on Thursday night on Mahoning Avenue. I think there's another big game tonight. I think the Browns and Steelers are going to tee it up here in a little bit. Joined by the head football coach of the Chaney Cowboys, Coach Antram. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
Here's what I love about what I get to do. When I get a chance to build relationships, I get to ask questions that I know I can get answers. And here's my first one. If I'd have told you week one when we sat here for Poland that you're going to be 5-0 playing Ursuline, what would you have told me?
I would have said we had a shot.
Okay.
A lot would have depended on how we, our mindset
Sure.
of things. But it's definitely a pleasant surprise, that's for sure.
No doubt. A big win, another big win. And not that any win we talk all the time is big, but after you and the staff had a chance to go back to watch that, it's a really good football team you beat last week at Rayen Stadium. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, Coach Pav's a great coach, like we talked, last week. And that's a heck of a team. Brock's a heck of a quarterback. They're big up front, sound in everything they do. We were able to put 4 quarters together.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I was able to watch that game last week. The thing that impressed me, we talk a lot about the skill guys, but the defense, I thought your defensive line against one of the better lines that you've gone against so far this year. Talk about that defensive line to free up your playmakers to get to the plays that they were able to make.
Yeah, our D-line and backers played real well. Going into it, we kind of knew we had some skill on the perimeter. And Coach Dott's done a great job getting our D-line ready. You'll meet Elijah Carter here in a little bit. He's an animal, man. He's a motor and just goes 110 miles an hour the whole time. And, he's one of the big ones up front for us. Jawan you've talked to before. But those guys just kind of, for 5 games, have done their part on the line of scrimmage.
With Coach Antram, Coach's Corner here at Hackett's on Mahoning Avenue, the home of the Cowboys. Can't thank Dan Hackett enough. Again, another great crowd, inside people out here supporting the Cowboys. It's got bigger and bigger every week. We talked about this when we wanted to start this up. You have to be appreciative to see teachers and faculty here to support this football team.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome. Like, there was an article from Mahoning Matters this morning. Just how much our kids appreciate it. Everybody kind of buying into what we're doing outside of our, outside the team, outside the program. So expanding it that way too.
Environment. How great was that environment last
awesome.
week? I was great able, and I want to say a laptop doesn't give you the appreciation of fans and crowds, but seemed like a pretty electric atmosphere. Kids get excited to play in those games. Big plays both ways. Both teams make huge plays.
Definitely.
And I think the thing that impressed me about both football programs is when you give up a big play, nobody really quit and stuck it with the game plan.
Right. Yeah. We've talked, about moving on next play, and they're buying into it, and we've had last game, the 4th down stops, and some of them, like you were talking, our D-line, they played huge.
How exciting was it to end that game? As a staff and for the kids, and the excitement that I saw on your home field to beat someone that's been right there in the States for many, many years with Coach Pat. That has to be a stepping stone for this program.
Yeah, definitely. We go up with a few minutes left, and Brock Lowry and Canfield has the ball in their hands, and, our defense pulls through like they did. Just, it was a game up until the last whistle.
Yeah, it was a great game, no doubt. Now, pretty big football game coming up in the Youngstown Ursuline and Youngstown Chaney. I will say this, for high school football fans, you won't find many more talented football players than what you get an opportunity to go watch from both schools Saturday night. A lot of talent on the football field. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, like, just like Coach Pav is for Canfield, Coach Reardon is Ursuline and doing a heck of a job. But, Erickson's really coming along as a quarterback and run the ball well. They're both sides of the ball, big up front and physical up front. And they have Lynch, Bernie. There's a whole crew over there that we're gonna have to control.
I want to ask you this. I want to see letdowns. I don't see it. I don't see it for either school. Everybody, you guys both played quality schedule. Excuse me. People want to say, well, they beat Canfield last week and Ursuline had a big – I don't buy that. I think that it's going to be a football game where these kids are from the city. They know one another.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You kind of mentioned it earlier. These guys know each other. It's Youngstown, so regardless of record or anything like that. You can just throw that out there.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I could tell you I'm able to get with Coach and the Ursuline kids, they had nothing but positive things to say about you and about your football team, and had Michael Branch on. He's played with a lot of your guys. So, yes, there's no doubt you want to win a football game. That's one of the funnest things, Anthony Romo and myself, to call a game like this is to appreciate talent in the Youngstown City School area.
Yeah, appreciate Youngstown as a whole, definitely.
Well, let's get into them. When you look at them, what strikes you first? The run game or the pass game, or is it a little bit of both?
For me, it's both. I mean, you look at the numbers and stuff, and you're going to see the run game, but they run some really good RPOs. And Erickson's making great reads on them, so you got to be able to defend that. So sometimes you might have to be a little heavier in the box to defend the run, but you can't, you can't give up that skinny post to the backside. So
to DC and those guys. Yes, Matt Jones for you. It continues to get better. I watched last week, and I think he made a huge step from the previous week. I think a lot of people forget that he's a sophomore.
Right. Yeah. We talked, last week comparing Brock as a sophomore to Matt as a sophomore, and I don't know, where that lies, but I said they're both competitors. And
there's no doubt. There were two competitive quarterbacks in that game. When you look at this and your staff looks at it, Saturday night, let's talk with Dan about this. It throws a whole wrench into what people like to do, what coaches like to do, what families like to do, what kids like to do. Has it been different? Do you notice a difference?
I'm sure our coaches do more than our players. Probably. But yeah, I'm a routine guy, so it threw me off.
That's hard to believe that you're a routine guy. Like, he's got his water here, he's got Sprite. This is week 6, and I will say to Chaney Nation, he was okay with the awesome banners that we have from Casey, and he was okay to sit here and do this because we have been in this spot before. We're outside. That was the key. We talked about that. He asked me if I was too cold. I said, "You're not superstitious, are you?" And he said, "No." So we talk all the time. Yeah, I could tell you, whoever turns the ball over, that's if there's a big key. And I know turnovers are, to me, knowing both schools like I think I do, it's who can limit the big play.
Definitely, yeah.
And big plays, I say, because there's some talented individuals on both defensive sides that can make a big play. I don't want to slight anybody and just say Ursuline's offense and Chaney's offense. There's two pretty good defenses going to go at it.
Definitely, and special teams too.
Yeah, two good special teams.
They throw some stuff at you, special teams.
Yep, Manning likes to run around with it a little bit. So, your key.
Like you said, limit big plays, and then both sides of the ball, the trenches up front.
Yeah,
they have a lot of experience coming back. We feel pretty confident in our defensive line. It's going to be a big game up front.
Well, Anthony Romo and myself will be on the call at Rayen Stadium. There's not a better place for high school football on Saturday night. One of the only games in town, and the only place, if you're not there, you can watch it, is on YSN, which is the home of both the Chaney Cowboys and Ursuline Irish. We're proud of them both. Coach, nothing but the best. Another great night here. I know you like seeing the turnouts, and it gets bigger and better every week. Let's keep this bad boy rolling.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.